Welcome to the Wise Doula podcast, a place for informative, uplifting, and educational conversations. Here we will discuss everything connected to the parenting journey, from conception and birth to postpartum and beyond. You are amongst friends here. This is a place to share our common wisdom and learn together. So go ahead, grab your favorite drink. Remember, not caffeinated if you are expecting, and join me inside. I can't wait to speak with you. Well, hello, and welcome to a new episode of the Wise Doula podcast. I am so happy that you are here today. Let me ask you something. If I say the word home birth, what comes to mind for you? I'll give you a second to think. If you had asked me a few years ago what the word home birth reminded me of, it was probably one of those movies like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, or one of those old movies where there was some type of pioneer birth. And all you heard was, bring towels, boil some water, and then, wah, crying, and the baby arrived. The men waiting outside, the women all together helping each other. I mean, in a way, very idyllic, right? Very, very romantic, very beautiful. But I think we all kind of look at it going, dude, it's because back then they didn't have hospitals. That's why they did the pioneer style birth. That's my own term, by the way. And oh, yeah, that's cute. But, we're better now because we have hospitals. We don't need to do that. Well, let me tell you, today more than ever, home birth is very much an option and very much a choice that a lot of families make. And today, I invite you to a bit of story time with me, and I will tell you about my first experience attending a home birth. So close your eyes for a minute. Imagine there is a nice fire lit up, and it's a round fire pit, okay? And we are sitting around it, and I am inviting you to story time around the fire with your favorite doula, Marta. So visualize that in your mind and fasten on your seatbelt because we are going. Okay, so this is going to be a story not only about home birth, but about how it touched me and it changed me, and how it caused a lot of different emotions that I was not ready for. So let's get started with the story. So the year is 2019, before the pandemic. And I think I had been teaching that day. It was a weekday. I got home and I was getting ready to shower to go to a party at church, okay? And I'm kind of like debating if I really want to go to this party because I'm really tired. And so I'm like, do I really want to go to this party? The thought of staying home feels so nice. Maybe I just stay home, maybe I just stay home. Nah, but you know what? There will be food. There will be dancing. Dancing, magic word for me. There will be dancing. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be live music. Okay, I'm going to do this. So I'm dragging my feet towards the shower, thinking what I'm going to wear, planning, when my phone rings. And it's this midwife I know that we actually had met earlier that summer through a lovely, lovely, beautiful doula that was friends with both of us. And she had introduced us. And Beautiful soul. I'll forever remember her. May she rest in peace. The doula. So she calls me on the phone, the midwife, and she says, Marta, I'm attending a home birth tonight. And my midwife student was going to come, but she cannot make it, which means I have space available for you to attend this home birth if you want to. And the reason why she called me is because she knew I had been really looking forward to attending a home birth as a new doula. And so I'm like, okay, like now. And she's like, I'm already driving there. So the family house is an hour away, okay? And she's like, I'm already driving there. And I'm like, okay, well, how far how far along in the labor process is she? You know, am I even gonna make it? Or is the baby gonna come before I make it? You know? And she's like, no, it's fine. It's early in labor. You're totally going to make it. Just come. And I'm like, I haven't eaten anything. You know, I was about to go to a church thing. She says, don't worry about eating. Just come over and we will eat something. We will have time. And remember those words and the piece of advice that will come with them at the end of this story. But anyway, so I don't need anything. I think I threw some snacks in the car while I was driving. Anyway, so I'm driving, and this whole drive, I'm on the highway. I'm going, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, I'm not going to make it. And I'm thinking, she's going to call me and she's going to tell me, don't come anymore. The baby was already born. Why? Because that happened during my first client birth. Okay. She called me after the baby was born. That's a story for another day. Anyway, so I'm driving and I'm like excited, freaked out, worried, everything all at once. And I'm like, you know, I'm being a safe driver. I'm being a safe driver, but I'm also like my emotions are like, ooh, you know, bubbling up. So I get there, park my car, you know, she brings a sign. We're attending a birth, part of the midwifery team. So if you need us to move the car, please call such and such number. So I come upstairs into the house. They guide me upstairs. And at this point, like I said, I was invited by the midwife. So I'm like a midwife student at this point, not a doula, because the mom didn't hire me as her doula. So I wasn't there in a doula capacity. I was there in a support capacity. So they bring me upstairs. We're in the bedroom. The mom has this beautiful, beautiful big belly. And at this point, my brain goes, of all places, my brain goes to call the midwife. I love Call the Midwife. I don't know if you watch Call the Midwife. You can let me know in the comments. I love Call the Midwife, okay? I have read the book twice. And I have watched the show probably 5 or 6 times in a row. Probably. I mean, I could run the lines. That's how well I know it. And so at this point, here comes Call the Midwife into my brain. And I'm going, this is pretty awesome. Like, it feels like I'm in an episode of Call the Midwife. You know, they're preparing the bed, they're putting the chuck pads and everything, you know, to make sure that the fluid doesn't go into the mattress and everything. So they're preparing the bed. The mom is walking around. I see the midwife and her assistant setting up all their instruments and everything they need for the birth. You know, writing their notes, their observations, what they need to do. And I'm kind of observing everything with the eyes of a child. And my brain is going, yay, Marta, this is awesome. It's like being in an episode of Call the Midwife. Isn't that amazing? And then at the same time, that thought creeps on one side of my brain. On the other side of my brain, Mr. Fear comes right in. And Mr. Fear goes, well, it is like Call the Midwife, but not really. Because in Call the Midwife, the babies are not really coming out of the mother's womb, right? I mean, it's all pretend. But in this situation, a baby really is going to pop from that belly, and you're going to be here to see it. And then the midwife is like, help us inflate the ball so mom can sit on the ball. And I'm inflating the ball and I'm looking at this whole scene unfolding. And it's like I'm watching it from the outside, okay? Like, what is going on? And this fear just creeps all over me, climbs all over me. And I get this desire to run in the opposite direction of this bedroom, of this house, of this birth. And I'm like, I can't be here. Oh my goodness, this is so, no, this is scary. What are we, no, I need to leave. I need to leave. I need to leave. But then bravery shows up a little bit and goes, nope, you're not leaving. You've been invited to this birth. This is a special occasion. It's an honor, and you're staying. And so I stay. And this whole time I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? But it's fine because everybody else that is there, the mom, midwife, the midwife assistant, the doula, everybody knows what is going to happen. I mean, for the most part. And everybody is chilled about it. And what I experienced in that room that night is not frazzled and, tension and this and that. I experienced calm. There is calm. You know, mom's contractions um, slowed down a little bit. She's able to take a nap. She's able to have a snack. She rests for a little bit. We are resting for a little bit. The doula plays lullabies on her phone. The lights are dim. The lullabies are playing. Mom is resting. We are just sitting there calmly waiting for things to happen. And I cannot believe the atmosphere of pure joy and calm that is present in that room. Not only that, this mom, it was her, I believe, seventh baby. So two of the children, two of the girls, are coming in before they go to bed. It's a school night to check on their mom and to see if their sibling has been born already. And I think about how precious that is. Because I remember when my sister was born, when I was 7.5, it was this mystery, I remember my mom having contractions at home. I remember my mom going to the hospital, me going to stay with my grandparents or my aunt and uncle, and then coming back to the house and my aunt and uncle telling me, okay, your sister is already up there. She's a beautiful little treasure, blah, blah, blah. And you have to love her and protect her. And me coming up to see this little, treasure baby, which she is to this day. And, it was all very mystical, at least to the brain of a 7.5-year-old, very mystical. But in this occasion, seeing these siblings asking how their mom is feeling, checking to see if the baby has arrived already, thinking that in the morning when they wake up, before they go to school, they're going to get to see their sibling. That to me is absolutely mind-blowing, so beautiful. So we all sit there, things pick up again. Mom lies down, things are, pushing face, things are happening. And the memory I have of that moment, it was the doula at the head talking to the mom, helping the mom, calming her. The midwife and her assistant at the feet, obviously handling the delivery, helping with the delivery. And I was in the middle and I was in a beautiful tennis match of sorts, looking at what the doula was doing, looking at what the midwife was doing. And then the midwife says, I can see the head. So I lean over and I promise you, I see this circle and I see the head of the baby crowning. Okay. I see like a circle of hair like that. Okay. And in what feels like a split second, although I'm sure it wasn't quite a split second, the baby just comes out of the birth canal. Everybody says, Happy birthday, little one. Welcome to the world. And the baby is placed on the mom's chest. I can tell you at this time, I want to cry so bad. Oh my goodness. The emotion is such, having witnessed that new life coming into the world. But I'm very stoic and I think, no, 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 no. I cannot cry. I don't know these people. They don't need to see me emotional. The mom doesn't need to see me emotional. I need to remain professional at all times. So I swallow it back in. I tuck it deep inside, which is something that we do with tears many times, right? Instead of letting them flow, we tuck them deep inside. So that's what I did. I thought I was doing the right thing. And we will talk about that in a little bit. So, the baby comes, they're doing all the checks, the baby falls asleep on top of the mom. And I think about how wondrous and incredible it is that she gave birth in the comfort of her own home. The siblings will be able to see that baby in the morning. Once everything is organized and everything, we come down to get the father, bring the baby to him. And whether it's baby 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, you've never seen a face as excited as the face of a new parent. There is such joy in their eyes, okay? So that got me emotional too. So after everything is cleaned up and organized and mom and baby are well rested and everything is good, we all leave the house. The midwife and the midwife assistant drive home. I'm about to drive home, but I call my husband, and he says, "Please don't come home. You're tired. You didn't sleep enough last night. I don't want you in danger while you're driving. Because remember, this is an hour away from my house, and it's highway, highway, highway." And so he says, "Just get a hotel. The money we're gonna spend in the hotel room is worth it to know that you're safe." Best advice ever. Before I go to the hotel, I go to have breakfast at a pancake place. And I devour that breakfast and that coffee with such a sense of this is a new day. Wow. Incredible. Like I was floating. And remember, I'm not the one that had the baby, okay? But I was floating. And I normally don't enjoy pancakes and American coffee that much, but that day it tasted like pure gold. And, once I'm fed, because remember, the midwife told me, don't worry about eating. We'll eat before the birth. We never ate. Okay. So I was really hungry. So I go to the hotel, I rest. And let me tell you, the next day, all that emotion that I had tucked inside, all the emotion of having witnessed a birth for the first time, the emotion of not wanting to cry when the baby was born, but really feeling really emotional about that moment. I think the tension also of the drive, the tension of that fear, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, this is like an episode of Call the Midwife in real life. It all comes rushing down. And I just start crying uncontrollably. And it's fine. I'm alone in a hotel room. Who cares, right? But it's just, whoosh, it just washes over me. And it's okay. It's okay. Birth and death are such important moments in our lives, right? They are. And they are significant moments that we don't always get to be present for, but they both matter tremendously. I don't know if I'm understanding that at that moment, but I am overcome by that emotion of what just happened, the beauty of it. And then a bit of sadness as well, because remember, this is 2019, and my loss is fairly recent. So I'm still healing from this is wonderful. I witnessed somebody else give birth. It's all that excitement, that joy, that awe, that sadness. Because isn't it true that happiness and sadness can coexist on us at any given time? We can be extremely happy about something and at the same time be extremely sad about it. And I just cry and I just allow myself time. And that simple invitation to that home birth changes me in so many ways. It transforms my idea of home birth. It opens the door to possibilities. It opens the door to joy about birth. But the interesting thing is when I tell my friends, my family, my acquaintances about it, I encounter a lot of reticence, a lot of why would people do that? We have hospitals for a reason. We have advancements for a reason. Why would people do that? Oh, don't tell me about it. It's going to gross me out. Or was there a lot of fluid? Or, oh, that's disgusting. And I'm like, when did our bodies become disgusting? When did the hospital become the only option? It's a very good option, but it's not the only one. And our bodies are not disgusting. Now, I'm not faulting any of my friends or my acquaintances for saying stuff like that, because that's the reality of what we know, right? Or we think we know. So it's perfectly normal to think that way. And I'm here today to encourage you, whether you are listening to this and you are expecting a baby, planning for a baby, or you don't have any children, I encourage you to learn more about home birth, to understand the beauty that goes into it, and to understand that it's not so much home birth in the terms of the pioneer birth that they show us in movies. Warm up the water, get the towels ready. It's it's a birth. It's a birth where there is a team of women and sometimes men, of course, helping these new parents, helping that mom, watching the process, letting it unfold, intervening when necessary, but not intervening if it's not necessary. And it's just such a beauty, you know. There is joy, there is calm, there is peace. Of course, there can be scary moments too. That can happen at home or in the hospital. Yes. There is respect for the process. There is respect for the mother that is delivering. And it's just this sense of calm, of we're here for whatever is needed, but we're letting this beautiful flower bloom. Okay. And the midwife and their assistant are there with all their equipment, with everything they need to take care of the mom and the baby were anything to happen. If there needs to be a transfer to a hospital, that will happen as well. So it is safe, it is protected, it is nurtured, it is cared for. Now, Am I saying that everybody's going to be okay with having a home birth? Well, clearly not, because when you talk about it, people lose their bananas, they just lose it. That's fine. So no, not everybody's going to have a home birth, and that's okay. That's okay. I just want you to know it's a choice, and I want you to pass this information along to your friends and family that are pregnant. It is a choice. It is part of the choices they have. And if it's a choice that they want to explore, they absolutely should explore it, okay? They should never be like, well, everybody in my family delivered at the hospital, so I guess I will do that too. No, you have to do what works best for you. But ultimately, what I want to tell you with this story is that as scared as I was, as daunting as it was, because I had never seen a birth in person, I was new. It was absolutely joyful, an honor, a blessing, amazing. And my wish for all of you is that you can experience it either with a friend or a family member or yourselves. And that next time you hear about home birth, you don't think it's something weird or part of those pioneer movies, where, oh, I guess they had to do it that way because they didn't have hospitals. I mean, back then, obviously, they had to do it that way. But imagine the absolute joy of being surrounded by a team of people that are there to hold you up, to hold space for you, to nurture you, and to give the best welcome to your baby. And that home birth I attended, that was the best welcome to that baby. And everybody said, "Happy birthday, little one." What a moment. So that's my piece of advice for today. A little bit of a soapbox moment. I love talking about home birth. In fact, next week, I'm having a guest, a very special guest in the podcast that will also enlighten us and teach us a bit more about home birth, because that is his field. He's an OBGYN. And I can't wait for you to enjoy that. I'm all about the learning and I'm all about the sharing. I hope you enjoyed today's story. See you next week. Hey, you have listened to the Wise Doula podcast today. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, everything we discussed today was meant for entertainment and educational purposes only. It does not substitute the advice of your medical provider. Would you do us a favor? Follow me on Instagram at LovingBellyDoula. Also, let me know what other topics you would like to see me discuss in this podcast. And please subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platforms. Thank you so much. I will see you next week.